I think the craziest part too is that he was saying that George Floyd, I'm sure we all remember. I'm sure we didn't forget George Floyd passed away a couple of years ago due to police brutality. But according to Kanye West, though, he's saying that it was due to a fentanyl overdose, because when they did the coronary press release, when they did the autopsy on this gentleman, George Floyd, they found traces of fentanyl and multiple other opioids and drugs. So, Kanye is now suggesting that he didn't die from that knee on his neck. It was actually due to fentanyl. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, like, does he have a point? Or, I mean, was it a contributing factor? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
What do you think about that, Trisha?
First off, I'll start off by saying I'm not an expert in this particular topic, but I'll be really honest. When I saw and heard that might have been a possibility, I was wondering where he got that information from. And finally, I found out that it actually came from some documentary produced by, I think, Candace Owens or something like that.
Yeah, she's a conservative journalist, and she puts out. I think she just released a documentary too. I don't recall what it's concerning, but actually, I do recall what it's concerning. It's Black Lives Matter, and she's basically putting it out that it was this fraudulent institution.
Because she's the only one that backed him up. She backed him up. She went online. I think she was on Twitter. I don't know if she's banned on there yet, right? But she went online and basically backed him up and said, yeah, what Kanye West is saying is true. I was surprised by that. I didn't know that she supported that information. I'd never heard of it, right? That also shows you how much time I spend looking into that specific topic. But I will say this, if anyone's going to be sued, I would think the family would sue whoever is spreading, that information that they think is false.
Well, so you're referring to George Floyd's family, and they're suing Kanye West because of the comments that he made regarding George Floyd's death, right? Yeah. So what's craziest, though, to me, it's like the audacity, because I'm sure we all may have heard that Kanye donated $2 million to this young lady, George Floyd's daughter, for her college fund. Yeah. Which is a beautiful gesture. It was a beautiful thing that he did.
She doesn't give a about none of that.
She's a little girl. I mean, she doesn't even know anything. Her father just passed away.
Think about it like this.
I'm sure,
hold on. Think about it like this, man. 2 million or 250 million,
bro. Come on, dog.
Hey, there's no comparison, bro.
Obvious money grab right there.
That's what are they teaching that little girl? It's like her father passed away. This huge, one of the biggest, richest artists in the world donates money to her so she can have a prosperous future, and then her family turn around and sue this man who tried to help this young lady so she can have a great future. It almost hurts my heart. I wonder what Kanye is thinking in his head. Although he, you could say that he did bring it upon himself in a way, right?
I want to say this. When it comes to the issue of what's going on in the background, I'm ignorant to that. But I will say, when it comes to Kanye, where I stand is he's obviously dealing with a lot of mental issues. I mean, he's also said that himself, right? And sometimes I wonder, like, where's the line between this is Kanye, because he is, he's an artist.
Sure.
He's going to act up. That's just who he has been. Or this is not Kanye. This is the actual mental illness now that's at effect. Where can you draw the line and kind of separate those two things? Because if he's right now reacting to like him having an episode, then that should be dealt with differently than him being kind of like paraded around and a bunch of people just kind of seeing it as an entertainment type of situation.
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because he's always been like that. Like he said, George Bush don't care about black people.
He did say that.
And he got up in front of Taylor Swift and said Beyonce should have won that video.
This is true.
Like, it's a little bit different, but
it's gotten worse. You know what I mean? It's gotten just a little bit more erratic, I would say.
I think he, in my opinion, based off of Kanye's IQ level, I believe it's a 134. So he's not an average man, but he's not a genius. And I think he's very misunderstood because he's right there in the middle where regular average folk can't relate to him. geniuses probably think he's an idiot. So it's like, he's very, very misunderstood by the general public, because I think we looked this up one day, and the average IQ score is 98 or 100, I believe. So he's not even in the realm of standard people. The way he deciphers things, the way that he processes his thoughts is incredibly different. And I don't think that many people can
he's
understand
definitely smart. You
He's
can't
super
say
smart.
Kanye West is not smart.
Yeah.
Especially when he proved me wrong when he said he was going to be a billionaire. And I said, yeah, right. Look at him now.
He's a billionaire, dude.
It's hard
crazy.
It's hard to go against somebody who accomplishes what he has accomplished and has the influence that he has. You don't do that by mistake. It just doesn't just happen like that.
But as smart as he is, it's shocking, especially what he said about Jewish people. He said that Jewish people control the black voice is what Kanye said, and he was referring to his managers. He was referring to record label owners, and I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I'm not really quite sure if I even find his comments offensive, if I'm being truly honest, because he has the right to speak his mind in whichever way that he would like. I mean, that's up to him to decide what he can say. We do live in America, and he has freedom of speech, right? So he should be able to say that without having to apologize, because he was just making certain observations on his personal life. That's, for example, if he would have said, this, I've observed that the majority of nurses are female. Would he then be sexist? I don't think so. He's making an observation. Or if he said,
what do you think, Ali? Ali's over there.
Let me do one more.
Nah.
What if he said? What if a white guy said? I've noticed that most of the NBA is black.
No.
74%. No, 74% of the NBA
You're just
is black.
now noticing
right?
that? That would be my response.
Would that be racist though? It's like he's just making an observation. Kanye was making his own observation.
But you're bringing up actual statistics, bro. Yes, most of the NBA is black. It's most nurses are probably female. But for him to go out and say some anti-Semitic shit, it's a little bit different trying to say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jews, bro.
Exactly.
I can't even laugh at that, bro.
So these people are out to get me. I don't know, man.